Alright, so we are live to Impromptu in the Hot Seat Live, and that's why we are going to be talking about TNA Slammiversary. Of course, I got Chase, Oliver, and as well Heel Steven joining me. What's going on, guys?
What up, man?
Nothing much, man. Just a beautiful Sunday afternoon or Sunday night. An afternoon in California.
Well, to all the fathers out there,
close.
have a happy. Hope y'all had a great Father's Day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
The fathers out there, all the fathers to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And all that fun stuff. And yeah, work on them, guys. Let's
Keep it
begin.
safe.
Exactly.
But anyway, getting right into it, starting things off with the first match that we did have on the card, and this was for the X Division Championship, where we had Tego Una as well, Crazy Steve, Manic making his return, as well Sonata. And honestly, I did think this was a great way to start things off. We had the ladder match. I enjoyed
And
that.
don't forget the American Wolves. American Wolves as well.
Oh yeah, that's right, the American Rules, before I forget. So thanks for reminding me on that. And it was really cool to see him in there. We had some really sick spots in this one too. And actually, Sonata actually retaining the title kind of surprised me a little bit. So it's cool that he's able to keep his title and have it a little longer. Heel Steven, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I didn't get to see the match because obviously I was coming back from celebrating Father's Day with my father. But I did hear people saying, "Oh, it's an okay match." I'll say this, all right. You know, it's five guys, whoever it was, Crazy Steve, Manic, Sonata, and the Wolves, right?
Mm.
Whatever happened to bringing back Ultimate X?
Yeah.
I think that's what it should have been. I think what they did here, they took the concept from Bound for Glory where they brought the ladder in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I felt. But, I mean, Sonata won. Kind of expected, I think, what's going to happen. Sonata will be the guy to do the option C. Which I really wouldn't mind. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a Japanese guy be a world champion in any company out there? I think the last guy to do it was Takashi Morishima in Ring of Honor. But there you go.
Yeah, like Steven said, like I watched this match and it was just a good match. Like a lot of good spots, a lot of fun, crazy action. Crazy Steve was obviously over, which was surprising to me because I don't really like his character or gimmick right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a fun match. I mean, it was nice to see the Wolves, go at it. If you're a Ring of Honor fan, you probably thought that was the best spot of the night. You were like, oh my God, they're headbutting on the ladders and being all excited. But
insane,
I just felt like Sonata winning was like so lackluster because there was a point, I can't remember who it was, but I think it was Crazy Steve actually. He was on the ladder and he could have grabbed the title at any time, and he was just like he was doing this half-ass like this. Yeah, he was like doing this the whole time. I'm like, oh my God, like what's going on? They're obviously waiting for a spot, but Sonata, he just climbs up there like it's no big deal and grabs the belt like just so lackluster. It was like they didn't build up to it, so that kind of took away from it. It did a good job, gave me a little excited for the show. It was definitely one of the better matches of the night, and that's not saying much for me at least. But Sonata winning, obviously, he has to go back to Japan soon because he has to go back to Japan in the fall. So I'm guessing he's going to option C and be the first person to fail the option C. Sadly, as much as Steven said, it would be cool to have a Japanese world champion, but with Sonata's situation of not being a full-time TNA star, I think they're going to try to use him as the guy that, fails the option C cash-in.
I'll say this too, like the crowd tonight was on fire too.
Yeah, the crowd was
they were really great.
Who would have thought that, It was crazy.
Yeah. Alright, so moving on into the next thing now with the promo, I don't really need to feel to talk about, so it's basically talking about what we already known about for the main event, how that was changing everything with the MVP's injuries. So getting into the next match, I'll let Steven take it away on who was in that match.
It was Samoa Joe versus Bobby Lashley, and the winner of this match would have advanced into the three-way steel cage match against Eric Young. And I'll say this, the match, it served its purpose, okay? I've seen Samoa Joe have better matches before, all right?
Yep.
And to be honest, here's my thing, right? The crowd was obviously into Samoa Joe. And you would think because of that, they would give Samoa Joe the opportunity to be in that main event spot. And typical TNA, they obviously, don't give us that. And they give Bobby Lashley the win. To make it even worse, the commentary tonight.
Garbage.
It's like Chase, I was telling you on Twitter, like, to me, Mike Tenay and Taz, they're like robots. They have no emotion or they're not even enthusiastic to make the
They should
show
have JB at least in
enjoyable.
commentary.
I would have rather seen, to be honest, Taz and Jeremy Borash. Not even that. I take that back. I would rather seen Jeremy Borash and Mike Tenay.
That'd be
man.
fun.
Like, I remember there was a spot where Joe did a suicide dive. It was like one of those like crazy random spots, and normally back in the old TNA, Don West would be freaking out, but like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
like,
All that emotion and everything, get you excited.
yeah, and then like, get the production truck, show us what we missed, and all that stuff. But they were like, "Oh wow, what a move!" And I'm like, "Really? Oh wow, what a move!" Like, come on, guys. Like, Joe and Lashley, I'll just be honest here. I saw Joe and Lashley live at Bound for Glory 09, and I remember that match was just okay. It's the same standard here. It was just okay. I think I would have liked this a little bit more as if Samoa Joe did win, because the crowd was cheering for him. But this is TNA, and I'll tell you right now, TNA is an open book when it comes to their storylines. Like, they are an open storybook. You can predict all the 3 different scenarios they're going to do with their storylines. I guarantee you, one of the options that they're thinking about right now, and it may be a little bit too late, but I think they're going to have Samoa Joe win the Bound for Glory series, and he's going to become the TNA World Heavyweight Champion at Bound for Glory. I'm predicting that right now.
I think the finals will be the BFG series, Joe and Aries. That would be the finals.
Yeah.
That'd
I
be
think
really
so.
cool.
I think that's what they're going to do, because they always do this. Like, last year, if anyone in their right mind thought AJ Styles was not going to win the Bound for Glory series, get the F out. Because if you thought AJ Styles was going to lose the Bound for Glory series, you do not watch enough TNA. You are blind. AJ Styles was predicted to win that shit in January.
I think it got predictable the minute that angle where, you had AJ Styles and the Ace and Eights in the ring, and they were supposed to make AJ Styles a new member. He was drinking the beer.
No,
I think that's what they made it obvious.
No, they made it obvious when AJ Styles lost in the triple threat match at Final Resolution, and he got pinned, and he couldn't challenge for the title until Bound for Glory. That's how obvious they made it. TNA is an open storybook. I think Joe's going to face that Bound for Glory, but I just kind of wish that they put him in this steel cage match. I mean, they had an opportunity of giving him the belt at Lockdown, but they didn't. So it is what it is, man.
It's like we were saying off the air. He's literally he's TNA's Dolph Ziggler, pretty much.
Yeah, TNA's Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan. He's the hottest thing in the company.
Which is sad.
People want to see him succeed, and that's just the thing. We like seeing Samoa Joe succeed. Like whatever is in these wrestling bookers' mind that think like, oh, wrestling fans like to see their favorite wrestlers get put down all the time so they can have this underdog story. I can watch that story how many times? So many times before I get sick of seeing the underdog story. I'm sick and tired of the underdog story. It ruins wrestlers all the time. You can't always have a wrestler be a fucking underdog. Sometimes you do need to change their characters or make them different. And it's just...
I think also at that point as well, if you're Samoa Joe, you just might as well just walk your ass back to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
You're Samoa Joe.
Go to Ring of Honor. Go put on some great matches to Japan. Hell, fucking A, Joe. Just say that you will replace Alexander Rusev, man. Go be the Rusev in WWE. Go do something else, man. The TNA ain't going to give you anything. Like, I don't care if it's a lighter schedule so you can play more video games, man. Like, just go do something better, man. I'm sad. It's sad watching Joe like this, man.
It really is.
He deserves a lot more better.
Yeah, it's depressing sometimes,
Yeah, man.
It's like it makes you think: who did he piss off in the back? Did he?
Yeah.
Did he eat? Did he park in the wrong parking spot? I don't know what the fuck he did, but damn,
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just sad, man, because like I was watching the old Samoa Joe DVD. If you guys don't have the DVD, go get the Unbreakable collection. That's one of the best TNA DVDs ever. It has some of the best matches you will see from Samoa Joe and TNA. And oh my God, I was watching this and I said, "What in the blue fuck happened to Samoa Joe? What in the blue fuck happened?" It's just sad, man.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Joe has gained a lot of weight, and he's not as mobile as he used to be, but he's still over. He's still someone that people like to see win.
Yeah, everybody loves him.
Exactly, yeah, absolutely.
He's still a loved character, so it's depressing talking about Samoa Joe. Yeah. A drink to you, Samoa Joe. A drink to you, buddy.
Hopefully you will get that TNA World title opportunity sometime throughout this year. It has to happen. But as far as the match goes, it was actually pretty good, so Bobby Lashley actually wins it there. The next thing that we did have, and we did talk about this too actually before the show, and that was about the TNA Hall of Fame. And once again, TNA not having an actually TNA guy actually be in the Hall of Fame. This time we're having 2 guys in Team 3D. Now, despite with all that, I do like the fact that Team 3D does have their shot, but I do also agree with the fact that other people should have gotten their spot. So I'm going to go head over to Chase. Your thoughts on that?
See, this could have been a time to surprise us TNA fans. I mean, with all the talk we hear from AJ Styles and Jeff Jarrett, how they're no longer with the company, it would have been nice to see the Phenomenal One again in the TNA ring, or Jeff Jarrett in the TNA ring. I know a lot of people are not Jeff Jarrett fans, but he was the owner of TNA, and he deserves some credit for bringing that company to what it is today, whether it's good or bad. And AJ Styles, whether he was a great face or not, he was the face of TNA, and those are 2 guys, I honestly think are locks in the TNA Hall of Fame. Now, I was okay with the first time when they put Sting in the TNA Hall of Fame. That makes sense because it was your first ever Hall of Fame. You're trying to get that out there. You're trying to make it credible. Sting is a credible superstar, and you can make the lame argument that he is a TNA original because he's never wrestled at WWE and all that other crap. But when they put Angle in the next year, I was like, God damn it, man. Come on. When's Styles going to get his love? When Jarrett's going to get his love? I think TNA, they need to when's any of the originals, man. There's so many people there that have helped TNA. I would have preferred maybe Abyss or someone else be in this Hall of Fame. Next year, what? Who's next in the TNA Hall of Fame? Jeff Hardy? Is Jeff Hardy your next TNA Hall of Famer? No, Jeff. He's going to accept it as Jeff Hardy. He's going to just wrestle as Willow. His alter ego, remember, something like that. But in all honesty, I just wished a TNA guy would have got into the Hall of Fame. It would have surprised the fans. Can you imagine if they said the phenomenal AJ Styles and we heard Evil Ways play through that arena? That would be one of the loudest reactions. Or we heard Jeff Jarrett's theme song.
Got a huge pop.
Huge reaction for these people. And it's like Team 3D, they do deserve it. They're Hall of Famers. They're going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, one day they're going to be in a bunch of pro wrestling Hall of Fames. They probably are in a couple already. They're a great fucking tag team. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes down to TNA Hall of Fame and you have the name TNA Hall of Fame in it, put a TNA original in there. Whether it's Maverick Matt Bentley or AJ Styles, put a TNA Hall of Fame, put a TNA guy in there.
All right.
I think also, it goes back to what we were saying earlier off the air. If you guys listen to Jericho's podcast when he had AJ Styles said it best. Perception is reality, And listen, I am a fan of Team 3D, of the Dudley Boys, however you want to refer to them as. Yes, they've won numerous titles in different organizations. But the problem is, though, they are not TNA grown guys. They were made in a different organization. Same as Angle and same as, Sting. At the end of the day. And again, you're pretty much telling them, hey, you know what? These guys that are putting in our Hall of Fame are better than our homegrown guys. I would have rather seen, teams like, Beer Money, AMW, Triple X, The Naturals, hell, even Jeremy Borash from May 10A in the Hall of Fame. The least. At least, Or imagine this, like Chase was saying. Imagine if Jeff Jarrett came out, right, and Dixie Carter comes into the ring. Just imagine a guitar shot from Jarrett to Dixie. The crowd would have exploded. The crowd would have went ape shit. But again, I don't know.
Yeah.
It is what it is, though. I mean, to be honest, though, I'm not really big on them doing this thing. All right, we're going to announce our next inductee at Slammiversary, and then, Bound for Glory can be put in the Hall of Fame. I think this is a huge gap. If anything, do it literally leading towards Bound for Glory, like literally leading towards this pay-per-view. But then again, people will say, but that's them copying WWE, man. Oh, they can't do that. You know what I mean? But then again, that's IWC logic for you,
Yeah, they almost treat this like it's like the NFL and the NBA Hall of Fame. The NFL Hall of Famers, they get announced in February, and then they get put in fucking like in June, or they get put in August, and then the NBA Hall of Famers get announced in February, get put into June. They almost treat this as like it's like a real sports Hall of Fame. I just think that only one person or two people, however many, can go in. That's my only problem. Like, you could have like 3 different people go in. It's not that hard, TNA, but hey. They do what they want to do. What was the next match? I'm done talking about the Hall of Fame.
All right, so getting into the next match, which honestly I thought was one of my matches of the night, probably the match of the night, where we had Kenny King and Austin Aries. It's really cool seeing Austin Aries be back in TNA. Hopefully we get to see him used a lot more. And with that one, we did actually have Austin Aries, of course, winning that match and going into the triple threat match and advancing there. So, Hill Steven, your thoughts on that?
I think it made sense having Aries go over here. I mean, just imagine, like, okay, just imagine if Eric didn't go over, you would have had MVP's Goons versus Eric Young. That would literally been a handicap match. And I thought the match itself was a good match. All right, I felt like it served its purpose. The crowd was into it. But yeah, I'm happy with Aries getting the win. I'm happy with it. You know.
You know, when Austin Aries won, I was so happy. But then at the same time, I was like, oh crap. They're either going to go two routes with it. One, turn him heel and have the fans forced to boo him when they don't want to, or have Eric Young retain the title randomly just because it's Eric Young and they want to put him over for whatever reason. Now, I was happy for Aries to make it into the match. I kind of knew that they would probably use him as spotter in this match because they can't hurt any members of MOK. I call them MOK. I don't know what they're fucking called. Are they called MOK? What do they call them?
They don't even have a name, I don't think.
Chuck Illusion. There you go. Black Illusion.
Black Illusion? Well, I'm calling them MOK, man.
MOK.
MVP, Lashley, and King. MOK, man. Martin Luther King. But
wow, MLK. I like that.
Yeah, that's why they're called MLK. So, you know, I just think that it was a good match. I've seen them have much better matches. Aries and King have had much better matches in the past. This was just an okay match between these guys. It was a fine match. I'm glad Aries won and got his chance in the main event and got out of that doghouse he was in. I don't know why he was in the doghouse, but he was in it apparently.
Apparently, he went off on creative during the other day.
I would too. I would too. I tell
yeah,
you guys I don't know what to do.
Exactly.
I would have been so pissed off.
I think also the fact, where he rubbed his nuts on Christy Hemme on that episode of Impact too. So.
Yeah, that was a long time ago now.
Yeah.
Alright, so then from there, of course, we move on to the next match. And with this could have been saved for TNA Impact Wrestling on Thursday. With this one, we had the Bromance and as well the Von Erichs actually making their debut.
Fucking A, dude. Just garbage, man. They're like, honestly, fuck the Bromance, man. Like, I'm a huge Big Brother fan. I love Jesse Goddard on Big Brother, but fuck these coons, man. Fuck these goons, dog. Like, they are just so annoying. Like, I'm normally one of those guys that love the comedy tag teams that are just arrogantly douchebaggy. That's just me. I love those guys. But these guys, I cannot stand. I think the highlight of their career was making a video on TNA's website. It's called #selfie or whatever. And it's like the most absurd, funny song I ever heard. It's like, bro, what about Jesse, though? What about Jesse, though? Mans. Like, that's the highlight of their TNA career. And then you have the Von Erichs, you know, that you're hyping up, you're shoving down our throats. Oh, these motherfuckers are wrestling at Slammiversary, Von Erich country, and they win by DQ? They don't even
that's the part I don't like about the whole match.
They don't even book them to beat these jokes as the Bromance. They win by DQ? Oh, no, dude. Just garbage, man. Just get the fuck out of here.
And to put the icing on the cake, here comes Kevin Von Erich putting the claw on, what was it, on Zima Ion? I think that itself overshadowed the match. Because I think the objective was, okay, you know what? Here's the Von Erichs. Here's our kids. We want the kids to be the spotlight of this match. And yes, I don't agree with the way the match ended, ending in a DQ. And I don't think that they're going to be signed to a contract. I just think it was that one-night type of thing. And honestly, I just feel like they were still a little green. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's the first time.
Yeah, not even that, but like, they made it seem, their first time on national TV. It's a fucking pay-per-view.
Right.
How is it national TV? It's a fucking pay-per-view. Like, come on. Like, don't you have your own script? Like, come on. Like, it tells you, right? Yeah, it's a fucking pay-per-view. Like, again,
it's not Thursday.
This commentary just, oh god.
They got their days mixed up or something.
Don't you read what's in front of you? Like, it's like the episode of Hair On with the little kid. Can't you read, mister? Can't you read?
Oh my god. Yeah.
But again, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I wasn't, you know, I didn't. Okay, it's cool, Von Erich's being there, and I get it, it's Texas, Von Erich country, fine. But I mean, you know,
Right. Well, moving on. Anyway, getting into the next match, then we had the Knockouts match, and with this one kind of had a weird ending that I didn't really care for.
Whoa, wait, hold up.
Go ahead.
Hold up. Did we talk about Willow and Magnus yet? Did we talk about Willow and Magnus yet?
Not yet. We're getting there. we'll just get this out of the way first, and then we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Hold up, you gotta let me say his name though. You gotta let me say his
I
name.
was gonna get to that, yeah.
All right, cool. We'll get to that.
Yeah, but anyway, with that one, it was actually a pretty good match. We had Angelita actually defeating Gail Kim. I kind of thought Gail Kim was actually going to get a win, but, not really too mad about it. Just didn't really care for how we had, like, the whole referee situation going on there. It was kind of confusing. A little funny, but, it is what it is. Hill Steven, your thoughts?
As far as the knockouts match, it had Russo booking written all over it. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This match had So out comes Brian Stifler, Steve Stifler, same shit, whatever. But the point is, so this match had no stipulation, right? It was a regular singles match, right? A regular singles match. Am I right?
Yep.
I don't recall it being a no disqualification match. So there's a part of the match where Velvet Sky sprays Gail Kim with the spray, right? In front of the referee.
Yeah, that happened.
That's a disqualification. You're supposed to call for the bell.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do that. So after this, Angelita Love hits her finisher, right?
Yeah.
And they kick out, whatever, fine. And out comes Earl Hebner, and he kicks out Velvet Sky, and he tags himself into the match. Yeah, he tagged himself into the match. Now it's a tag team match. The referee has to leave now.
Which is awkward.
This referee just standing there outside the ring, like, okay, I'm expecting him to grab Earl, get him out of the ring, and punch him, something, but no. Again, it had a Russo booking all over it, in my opinion.
Yeah, like, I'm going to be honest here. I was more excited when the Spurs were going on, like, some crazy-ass run, and the crowd there was going,
wait! Most people were at that point.
I was watching that more than this knockouts match. It's not because I hate Gail Kim or Angelita Love. It's just,
no, we're not saying
it's just the same fucking match. Like, I've seen this match.
And it's a knockout.
How many times? Like, it's like kind of like with in the WWE right now with Paige and Alicia Fox. I've seen that match way too many times. They have that match at Money in the Bank. Unless that shit's a ladder match, I ain't watching. Okay, I'm gonna be dead honest here. I ain't watching because I don't like watching the same shit. I like watching something refreshing, and it's just like the Knockouts division. One of the divisions that, in my personal opinion, made TNA such a good alternative before, made TNA something watchable that people loved about TNA. It's so sad to see it now just like a fucking barren wasteland using like the same 4, 5, 6 divas.
It's a shell of its former self, just like the X divisions, a shell of its former self,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they try hard. I mean, they have some talent here. It's just like I just didn't care for the match, and like the ending was just stupid. I just thought the match was just boring overall. Maybe because I didn't watch all of it. So I know a lot of TNA apologists out there are gonna be like, "No, this was a great fucking match. You don't know what you're talking about." But in all honesty, if you want me to care about these women, give me a storyline to care about. Like Taryn Terrell and Gail Kim. What's it called? Last year, Gail tore the house down, and it was the most shocking match that anyone has ever seen. It was one of the best matches. Like, but the thing was about that also was we actually gave a shit about the storyline. It wasn't like they've done this so many times with the beautiful people. They've done this so many times with the beautiful people where they act like sluts and hoe bags and assholes towards the guys, and then all of a sudden the girls are like, "We will rebel against you. We will rebel against you." It's like, oh, god damn, man. How many times do I have to see the storyline? It's just, I just wish more effort was put into Knockout Division. That's it. No, I don't hate Angelita Love. I don't hate freaking Gail Kim. I don't think they're garbage or anything. I just didn't care. That's just the bottom line.
Exactly. That I kind of agree with Chase as well. Give us something different. Give us something more than you normally give us. They're doing also a lesbian angle with Madison Rayne and Brittany or
exactly.
It's kind of been done before already.
And who came up with that idea? Eric Bischoff, HLA.
I'm just saying right now.
Yeah, that's you.
I'm just saying right now, if you would have given me Brittany on this card, I would have cared a little bit more because at least I would have to see women making out. Just like that's what they should do with Paige. People who say Paige is born into WWE, fucking have her make out with women. She's cool with it, so let's do it. Fuck it. I love lesbians. Let's go. Let's talk about Willow. Let's talk about Willow and
Magnus.
Yep.
Magnus. Go, David.
Yep. That was the next match. Well, we didn't get to talk about that before, but yeah, Magnus was in there with Willow and everything. Go ahead.
Say it again. Say it again. It was Willow. Say it
Willow
again.
and
Magnus.
saying it right.
Magnus.
Apparently, he's a parasite killer. Apparently, he's a parasite destroyer. I'm sure you guys read his article in that magazine that he wrote and all that. Yeah, a parasite killer.
Didn't I know that?
I don't hate the guy. I don't hate the guy. I think the guy, it's just something there, but the way they booked him as a pussy, literally, and that overshadows everything that it overshadows everything that he's done, literally. Honestly, I don't see him recovering from that. I really don't see it happening.
Mm-hmm. And even though, and this is what pissed me off the most, is like, even though, yes, there was Bram and Abyss, they're doing their stupid shit outside the match, and he gets the win clean, I'm like, where was this when he was TNA champion, where he wins the match clean?
They could have had Bram there the whole time.
I mean, it wasn't like Bram was the deciding factor of why he beat Willow. It was because he actually beat Willow. He finally wins the match clean, and I don't give a shit about them because you, TNA, are more focused about building up fucking Abyss and Bram. Like, I don't give a shit about Abyss or Bram. I don't, man. It's just, this is dumb stuff I'm talking about right here by TNA. It's like, you have a match between Willow and Magnus. These two should be the main focus of the match. You can have Bram out there all you want. I don't give a fuck. As long as he doesn't have any say in the outcome, that's cool by me. But why? Why bring back Abyss at this? If you really wanted Abyss, fucking Monster Ball this shit. Go ask Raven to come get his fat ass out of retirement or whatever Raven's doing. Go call his ass, have him do a Monster Balls match with Abyss. Don't fucking waste our time with Abyss and Bram. Because I don't give a shit, TNA. I really don't. Bram is not a character that fucking pops up to me and says, this guy's a superstar. He looks like a generic fucking dude that I create on WWE 2K14. In fact, I'll go do that. I'll go make Bram in WWE 2K14. I'll go make him, and then later on, I even think the video game fans won't even cheer for him. I think they'll just be bored by him. So,
and that's sad.
Yeah, that's sad. That's how boring Bram is. Like, I just don't care. Him and Gunner are the two most hated wrestlers in TNA right now for me.
Not that people hate it. Again, that's about the way he was booked as he was champion, and that pretty much stems from. That's where it stems from. That's where it literally stems from. You know what I mean? No. But again, this match, just like Chase said, you know, you have him. You have him finally win clean, but what the fuck, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, overall it was pretty good, but again, it comes out with the booking again, like you said. Alright, so getting into the next match that we did have, and which was another thing that had pretty much another odd ending, where we had EC3 and Bully Ray. Actually, it was a great match for what it was, but it was to the ending I didn't really care for it, honestly. But Chase, your thoughts?
It was a fun match. Like, I had fun watching it. It wasn't like terrible or bad or anything. It was a fun match. My only problem is just how EC3 won, because I'll tell you right now, I'm a huge EC3 fan. I didn't give a shit about Derek Bateman. He's awesome. I didn't give a shit about Derek Bateman on NXT. I didn't see all the hype around him, but EC3, I just love this guy. He is such an arrogant douchebag, and it's just perfect. It is so fucking perfect. He's like someone,
he pulls it off really well.
It's so great, and it's just like they ruined his character so much. And I was saying, TNA, this is your chance. You have money in the gold with this EC3 character. Have him defeat Bully Ray clean. You make EC3 look like a badass, people will start taking him seriously. But instead, they had this, Dixie's out there, and oh my God, Rockstar Spud, and Dixie got knocked out in the worst fucking bump I've ever seen in my fucking life, where she randomly runs into EC3's arms and gets knocked out like an idiot. Yeah. Like, oh my God.
I thought she was going to get that table spot. I thought that was the whole purpose.
I think we all did, yeah.
I saw that coming. This is what I said. I see it coming clear as day. I said, oh my God, are they really going to just have Buffalo lose this match because he's going to fall through the fucking tables because he's going to get distracted or something? Boom, it happened. It was just the match was fun. Like, the match was fun. It wasn't a bad match.
Yeah,
it's kind of like how I said about in my Payback review with Cena versus Wyatt. Standalone, if you know nothing about WWE or their storylines, it's a good fucking match. Cena versus Wyatt at Payback is a good fucking match. If you don't know anything about the John Cena or Bray Wyatt storyline, and if you just want to watch a car crash, it's a good match. This match is the same category. Standalone, really, really good match. You probably wouldn't have any complaints with it. You probably thought it was fun. But in a storyline where you're trying to build characters and make them interesting for TV, it's a lame match. How many pussy heels do we need in the wrestling world? Can't we have a serious fucking heel for once? Can't we just have a heel that can kick some ass? Not every heel, especially with money, needs to be like, oh, I'm so scared. Oh, I need my, like, 130-pound aunt to freaking, you know, it's just frustrating to me on that standard. But like I said, like, standalone on this pay-per-view, if I don't know anything about TNA storylines or whatever, I thought this was a good match. It is a good match. It's a fun match. But it's just the ending just bugs me. Kind of like Cena and Wyatt, where it's just like, fun match, okay match, but the ending will just bug you to all ends.
Yeah, again, I agree. You know, the match was okay, all right, but again, just the way the ending just overshadowed what the match was. Again, you know, I think eventually, I'm sure eventually, Bully's gonna put her through a table. I'm sure they're probably a Bound for Glory. That's where we'll finally see it. But again, you know, I don't think Dixie Carter needed to be there. Again, this is once again stupid booking. Once again, I hate the fact that Dixie Carter's always on TV.
Yep, same here.
Know, again, you know, I get it. You're the president of the company. That's fine, but her character needs to be limited. You know what I mean? To a certain extent. You don't need to be on every angle.
That's why you have MVP there for. At least he can take over and be out there more often.
But even that, like, again, like the TNA, if you get, all right, let's put it this way, right? You go from main of the Mafia and the front line to Ace and Eights and, you know, obviously the TNA roster. Now MVP and now with Dixie Carter, what do they all have in common? It's a power struggle storyline.
Yep.
Like, they're stuck in this bubble of, oh, power struggle. We want to see power struggle. No, we don't want to see fucking power struggle. We want to see matches like Samoa Joe versus Austin Aries for the world title. That's what the fuck we want to see. We want to see Kurt Angle versus Davey Richards or Eddie versus Davey or something like that. That's what the fuck we want to see.
And see that's the thing with TNA is that they're missing out on. Is just like they think like by doing these pop culture storylines that really aren't pop culture anymore. Like Steven said, the Power Struggle storyline, that's the most overplayed storyline in any wrestling organization. I guarantee you, if you own a wrestling organization, by a year you have that wrestling organization, you're already thinking about a Power Struggle storyline. You're saying, oh, I want to make a Power Struggle storyline. So that's the most overplayed storyline in all of wrestling. And the thing about it is like the way TNA could be pop culture and be different from the WWE is like what Steven said. Have good matches. Have like a Samoa Joe versus Austin Aries. These guys look different than the fucking guys main eventing the WWE. The guys who main event the WWE are perfect figures, six-pack males, 6'5", and then we have here's Samoa Joe who looks like he's not a dude that looked like he could go for 30 minutes in the ring, and here's Austin Aries who looks like a kid that you see at your college class, like just chilling there. That's what makes what could help TNA make TNA feud more unique is because they will have an appearance that is different from the WWE. But the problem is they don't know how to execute like that. Like I'm not one of those guys that focus on just too much in-ring. I'm fine with in-ring action, but I'm not like in-ring. But with TNA, they have to be that company where it's more about who you have in the ring and who's putting on these matches than your actual storylines. Because you guys should be fighting to be an alternative, not to be like the company that is right now. Because I'm going to be honest here, you don't want to be like the WWE right now. You don't. The WWE does not put on great storylines. They don't. That's just the bottom line. I'm one of the hugest WWE fans, but I expect better from WWE. I think WWE could do 10 times better. They're just freaking lazy overall with their booking. You don't want to become like WWE. It's not a good thing to be the best company in the world.
I think also the problem is, even go with both companies, you know, the people that write their story, the creative team, they have no idea what's involved in wrestling. Like, you look at the WWE creative people, they're all people who've done Days of Our Lives in General Hospital. And, you know, in TNA, right now you have John Borek, the guy who was in charge of Tough Enough back in the day, the guy that really wasn't given a big deal in WWE. It's like in TNA, you see guys who come from WWE as on screen, also off screen as well. And you really shouldn't be doing that. Like, if you're gonna bring them in, don't put them in a position where you think they can do when they can't. Again, it's back to they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's like sometimes I feel like the people who are writing these stories for TNA have completely given up.
Yeah, they really shouldn't.
I agree.
There's so much they can really do.
It's like the quote Gordon Ramsay, like, get out. You know what I mean? Like, literally. I think, honestly, let's be fucking real here, okay? I guarantee you, Gordon Ramsay can do a better job running TNA.
He'll be yelling at so many people.
Give him a month. You'll have that company back in a fighting shape.
He definitely would make sure that they're on great diets and have good food for them. That's for damn sure. But like you said, it's just like these WWE guys that they get. They just try to copy what WWE is doing because they're like, oh, it worked in this company, so let's try it here. It's like, no, you gotta be different. You gotta be counterculture. Like kind of like we said with AJ Styles' interview with Chris Jericho. He's like, since the WWE doesn't like to do chair shots to the head, which I totally understand why they don't do it. AJ Styles said, I'll be the first one to take one, just to show, hey, we will be a little bit more edgier. We will be a little bit more different than the WWE, and different is good. We don't want to see the same old shit. We don't. We like seeing stuff that's different. That's why, like, right now, the independents, and let me say this, like, I don't think the independents have been any better since late 2011. I remember the independents, they were on a, not on a dying scene, but they weren't really as popular as I remember when I first got into the internet wrestling community. Like in 2006, when I first came on to this, internet wrestling community on forums and stuff, independent wrestling was hot. And then all of a sudden in 2011, it just kind of died down. 2013, like near the end of 2013, heading into 2014, the independents, they're on fire right now. And why? Because they're different.
Because also these guys that are now in the indie, like the Kurt Hawkins, the Trent Berettas, and all these guys, also, they're able to go to their full potential. In WWE, they were so watered down. You know what I'm saying? And again, the indies right now they're on fire. You know what I'm saying? It's shit. It's amazing right now. It's amazing.
I guarantee you. I guarantee you, if ROH could actually get a good TV deal, or New Japan could get a good TV deal, like an actual real TV deal, not this bullshit TV deals they have now, but a good TV deal where people could actually see them, I guarantee you they would at least pull more ratings than TNA, and they would at least hit the 2.0 mark, and people would realize.
This is also a reality. This is also a reality check. I mean to cut you off, but this is also a reality check as well. Ring of Honor last month did a show in New York, which I was at, for World of the Worlds. I was at the show. And literally, they sold out the Hammerstein. Yeah, they sold out the Hammerstein Ballroom weeks before WrestleMania 30. And you can say, oh, because of AJ Styles, because of New Japan, but however it was, they got it done. And mind you, Ring of Honor is, according to Dave Meltzer, that company that's too small to do big and it's too big to do small, and they don't have the global exposure or national exposure like a WWE or a TNA. And they managed to do it. And now, mind you, TNA in a couple of weeks, literally next week, they'll be going to New York. The same building, but the Grand Ballroom. And mind you, TNA has the resources compared to Ring of Honor. All right, and they have that network deal with Spike TV, and they're considered the #2 wrestling promotion in North America, or in America at that.
Yeah.
And you're going to the Grand Ball, which is a smaller venue.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, because I'm not the biggest independent wrestling fan in the world, but I can admit when I realize something's better than the shit that we're seeing on TV right now. And I feel like right now, New Japan and Ring of Honor, they're putting on some stuff that sometimes are better than WWE most of the time, and they're putting on definitely better product than TNA. And that's the thing. It's like TNA, stop trying to take the book off the WWE shows. Go look at what your fucking independent promotions are doing and take the book off their shows. Like, freaking learn from them. Don't learn from the company that right now is losing money. The WWE is losing money. They're losing talent. They're not the same.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You have to learn from. They have to learn from other companies, and by doing this shit that they think they're doing is good, it's not. It really isn't. That's why a lot of these matches on this card. If you're a pure wrestling fan, and you think like just because you saw good matches, this is a great show, that's good for you. You think wrestling more positively than I do as a whole. I think of wrestling as these people are characters on TV. It's like I'm watching Breaking Bad. It's like I'm watching Game of Thrones or whatever. These guys are characters on my television. I expect them to entertain me as characters and do a good job as professional wrestlers. That's what I expect from them. And with that, it's like the WWE, they could be so much better, and same with TNA. These two companies right now, I have never seen companies with so much money be so fucking lazy, man. This is like that. This is like the NBA, and like, let's see, what year in the NBA was just like so fucking, like in 2006 through like 10, when they were just such a boring product to watch and not interesting whatsoever. You know, I've never seen a company just with so much money just be so lazy. And it's just like, you know, it goes back to even like with Payback, where, you know, a lot of people love that show. If you love that show, awesome for you. For me, I just wasn't a fan because none of the characters I felt did anything on that show to make me really care for what was going to happen on the Monday Night Raw TV show. So that's how it is with this pay-per-view for me right now. It's just like, you know, there's some good matches. There's a lot of matches that I probably will, if I'm bored one day, go back to and watch. But then at the end of the day, I say, like, when I watch that match again and I see EC3 beat Bully Ray, what am I going to say? Is EC3 going to be someone that's a major player for TNA in the next 2 or 3 years? Or is TNA going to fold over and not be anything after this? And so, in all honesty, I was just disappointed by, I know we went on a long rant about TNA and stuff, but it's just examples. It's just examples, like, from this show is why TNA's in trouble. And why
you can see it each week.
Yeah. And one more thing I'll say as well. You know, I can't speak for Chase, or I can't speak for you, David. But for me, you know, people will assume, oh, these guys are TNA basher. No, we're not. Well, for me, that is. I'm not a TNA basher. If you guys watch my content, I always say, you know, hey, I want to see this company succeed. All right, I really do. But one thing is, you know, saying, but another thing is being realistic, being a realist. You know, a lot of these TNA supporters, they have this assumption that, they can cover all their problem with their index finger, and all the problems are gone. You know what I mean? And that's their big problem. And again, you know, we want to see this company succeed. We want to see it happen, but the way they're going, you know what I mean?
They need to do things a different way.
Mind you, it was a good show, but doesn't mean that, oh my God, they're safe. Because sometimes TNA does it. They take 2 steps forward. They take 1 step forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that team
sometimes you want to do a different change.
It's like it's like a soccer team, because, you know, I'm a soccer guy and all. It's like when they play in the league. Like, they'll win 1 game and they'll lose 2 games. They'll tie 3 games. They'll win 1 game, and they mostly won't win all their home games. But you kind of get the idea where I'm going with this.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Sums it up right here. Because for me, I'm just someone that wants good product on my television. I sometimes I don't have time or access to go watch every ROH, PWG, or whatever indie show there is. That's just I just don't have all the time and access in the world to do so. But from the TV, from the wrestling I see on my TV, I expect WWE to be a great fucking company. With the talent they have now, they have the most talented roster I have ever seen since 2007. You have to do something with that roster. And same with TNA. You have all these freaking guys. You can do so much better. I mean, anyone who wants to say I'm a TNA basher or hater, no. I watched this company when they were doing that shitty weekly pay-per-view format. I watched this company grow up.
I've been watching.
I know what I'm talking about when it.
I've been watching since 2004. I've been watching since 2004. People say, oh, you probably watched TNA since like 2010. No. On the contrary, I've been watching it since late 04 going to 05 on the Fox Sports for that 1 hour. I remember their first episode on Spike TV, where they gave on Saturday nights. They gave an introduction of who the X Division was, who was Jeff Jarrett, who was Monty Brown, who was AJ Styles. They literally gave like a good segment of the show to AJ Styles, who he was. And again, that was the face of the company. You know what I mean? I feel like,
exactly.
You know,
like I'm just someone like what I just want to get out. What I just want to get out there is like for some people who think that like a lot of reviewers, when they come on here and you feel like they're bashing something, we're not. We're reviewers. We're not supposed to be fans on here. We are supposed to be completely unbiased on a lot of situations. That is our point as reviewers. If we came on here and said everything's awesome, we're kidding ourselves. Not everything is awesome.
Pretty boring.
It would be boring if everyone came on here. Like, I swear, like If
It's the
everyone came on
same
here
for
and
each
everyone
video.
said, exactly, you need to be real with yourselves. And sometimes with TNA, like, we just got to be real with them here. I mean, hell, I'm glad we went on this rant because, like, I do not even want to talk about Mr. Anderson and James Storm. That shit was garbage. Fuck the Dallas Cowboys. No way in hell a Green Bay Packers fan would celebrate with a bunch of Cowboys. But
Yeah,
that's all
that
I'm
match
saying.
was short for
He
that.
sold out.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
sold out.
so
Pretty much he sold out. Like, you know, don't be separate. Oh, you know, when he goes to Green Bay, oh, you're not welcome here no more, bro. You celebrate with the Cowboys and shit.
Yeah, dude. It's
yeah. Well, they didn't
like,
need that part.
That would be
I
like,
understand
you
that.
know what that would be like? That would be like, let's say, right, for example, that would be like Lionel Messi celebrating with Real Madrid.
Yep.
That would be like, you know, who can I compare here? That would be like Cristiano Ronaldo back. I'm not talking about Real Madrid Ronaldo. I'm talking about Man U Ronaldo celebrating with Chelsea fans. Pretty much, that's what it'd be like.
Yeah.
Or what it was like to me. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, come on. I get it. It's Texas. You want to bring these guys in, but how many times have we seen this before, where you throw a beer at a guy's face and you know, it pretty much reminded me back of 2003 or 2004, where Jeff Jarrett was messing with the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. Frank Wycheck. Yep. Frank Wycheck.
So, yeah.
Terrible. Terrible times.
It's
All right, let's
crazy.
go. Should we talk about the main event now?
Yeah,
The
we
main
might as well
event.
go into the main
Yeah.
event. Triple threat steel
The
cage match.
main event of the evening.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought it was a good match for what it was and everything like that. It was cool to see Eragon get the win, but I was actually pulling more for Austin Aries.
I think we all were.
Yeah,
think
most
we
of
all
us
were.
were pretty much.
I'm gonna
But,
be honest. When I saw
yeah.
Aries kick out of the pile driver, I'm like, yes, finally, there's hope.
Yeah.
There's hope. There's hope. Yes.
That's what I thought too. I was like, oh,
I'm like,
Aries is going to win.
I was like, to the wrestling
There was a
god,
chance right there.
JBL, please, like, let it happen, please. And then I saw him like, fuck, yo. And here's my thing, right?
Yeah,
Listen,
intense.
nothing against Eric Young. The guy's a great wrestler. Yes, I'll give you all that. But he's not really a company guy that you would really put as the face of the company. Look at Austin Aries. The guy was gone for so many weeks. He comes back and the crowd went over for Aries.
Yeah, he's
That is
definitely
the
over.
guy you put your belt on. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Summer 2012, summer 2012, when Austin Aries was the world champion. And I say this numerous times, but when he was the champion at that time period, the TNA product was better than WWE's.
Yep. And you could argue he was a better world champion overall. I mean, let's face it,
Yeah, he
CM
was great.
Punk's 434 days was ruined at that point because they made him turn heel when the fans didn't want to boo him at all. They wanted to cheer him. And who was the world heavyweight champion? Del Stinko? Was Del Stinko the world champion?
Del
Yeah, he
Rio,
was.
Del
Yeah, he
Chapo,
was.
I believe
Dom-
it.
Yeah, because didn't they make Dolph turn heel? No? I'm so confused. I can't remember.
No,
what
they didn't do
WWE
that at that time.
But who was it then? Del Rio?
the Big Show thing with the Big Show turn. Remember he punched.
Oh, yeah.
At the time, that was the big feud. It was John Cena and Big Johnny. That was the big feud at the time. And
I
again,
didn't like that.
you know, again, in my mind, I'm like, then you know what? Then TNA enjoys getting the 0.69 rating with Austin with Eric Young being on TV. Then that's the vibe that I got. Okay, and you enjoy it. And listen, people can say, oh, but you got to realize, you know, Austin. I'm sorry, but Eric Young is a TV star. All right, who the fuck watches Animal Planet?
Yeah, dude.
I haven't watched that show yet.
Is there any wrestling fan out there that watches this show on Animal Planet, or let's put it the reverse? Any people who watches Animal Planet that watches the show, Extreme Hook, I forgot the name of the show, but you can't get the idea, that watches TNA.
Exactly. It's like it's not like because see, I defend Total Divas to a point where Total Divas does produce some wrestling fans, not a lot of wrestling fans, but some people kind of tune in.
I mean, if you watch, if you watch it with your girlfriend, if you watch it with your girl, then yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But that's normally me. If I watch Total Divas, I'm watching with the girl. You know what I mean?
It does help.
It does help.
It does help to some extent, but it's just like with this Bishop show, I'm a big fishing fan. You don't see me jumping on that just because Eric Young's on it. I don't care. And here's the thing about Eric Young. I'm a big EY fan, and I remember I remember at Lockdown when Magnus retained the title. I said to myself, "Holy fucking shit!" And I was in Vegas at this time, just enjoying my vacation. But I read the Lockdown results, and I said, "Holy fucking shit!"
It was a good shot.
TNA is really going to give Eric Young the World Heavyweight title. And I remember I was telling all these wrestling fans this, and no one was listening to me. Everyone's like, Chase, that's
Well, that's what happens.
They would not. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
they would never do that. TNA did just that. They gave Eric Young the title. And listen here, Eric Young, the only time he should have won the TNA World Heavyweight title. Actually, there's 2 times. There's 2 times Eric Young should have won the TNA World Heavyweight title. One time when he was doing the Don't Fire Eric storyline. That storyline was hot as fuck for TNA.
Guys, right back. Hold on, real quick. Right back.
But like I said, the Don't Fire Eric storyline, because Eric Young was hot as hell when it came down to that storyline. Like, everyone was behind Eric Young, and you could have used that storyline to give him the belt for 1 week to 2 weeks, and then have it where Bobby Roode beat him for that title, and then you would have put over Bobby Roode as such a major heel, and Eric Young, he would have been that sympathetic babyface for a lot of his career, and a lot of people would have been like, man, if you only got one more world title shot. And then the other time I feel like he should have won the world title was when he was in World Elite. But once again, it's another 2-week reign, and that's the thing with Eric Young. Yeah. He's not a guy that's built to be a long-term world champion. He's built to be a guy that's, there for 2 weeks. Like, everyone's happy for him. It's like a sentimental moment, and that's it. And the thing is, a lot of people don't understand, like, not everyone needs to be champion for, like, 8 months or 3 months or 4 months or 5 months or 6 months.
It's not always going to happen like that.
Yeah. Some people just need to be champion for a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, I thought he was going to have, like, a month title run.
Yeah, like, it's not the amount of days you're champion, it's the amount of impact you had as champion that will make your career. You can be champion for a month, and if you had a major impact on the career, on the career, that's all that matters. No one remembers Great Khali's 4-month title reign. No one remembers Jack Swagger's 3-month title reign, but we sure as hell remember certain title reigns that only lasted 3 weeks, like Mick Foley's first title reign. We sure remember all of Rock's 1-week title reigns. Edge's title reigns we remember. Like I said, those guys had impacts even though their title reigns were short as hell. You don't need a long title reign to make an impact, and that's the problem with TNA is they could have had Eric Young just win the belt randomly after WrestleMania. Oh, cool, Eric Young gets his moment, lose it right away, bam, that's it. Eric Young had his moment in the sun, good for him, move on to other storylines.
I get this, okay, I get it. The guy, the TNA original, fine, I get that. I get it, so he's been there since day one, all right, you've been there for you've been there for a long time, you should be rewarded, fine, but with that logic, should we have given Johnny Foreplay the world title when he was in TNA then? I mean, with that logic, I mean, he was a TV star on Fear Factor, right? If they're going to go with that but again,
Survivor.
Yes, my bad, Survivor.
Okay.
Sorry, Survivor. There you go.
Hey, I'm a Survivor fan. If you ever want to watch the Survivor Series, Fair Play season, he does the funniest shit on the whole. He should have won too. I was so upset when he won, but continue on for it. Survivor's more interesting than TNA at this point.
But you kind of get the idea, though, right? If they're going to go be a celebrity, then you might well give it, Johnny Foreplay back in the day. But the point is, again, I get why they did it. Shock value. Me personally, I am more of a fan of storytelling than shock value. Here's how they should have done it. All right, have him win that gauntlet, right? And then be like, you know what? Been here since day one, and it's time for me to win the big one. Out comes Magnus. You've been here for day one, but you'll never win the big one because people like you are not meant to be champions. And then at sacrifice, bam, it happens. He wins the big one, and have him lose tonight. That's what should have happened, in my opinion.
That would have been
fun. You wouldn't have these fucking marks saying, they copy Daniel Bryan, they copy this, they copy that. Daniel, they stole the beer idea. No, Eric Young was growing his beard a long time ago.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan at the time was getting paper bags thrown over his head by Cody Rhodes. By the end of the day, it's one of those things where, do you really want this guy's role? Do you really want to continue having 0.69 ratings, the lowest rating?
Nobody wants that.
And listen, I know for fans, people will say, "Oh, but we're wrestling fans. We shouldn't give a shit about ratings." Okay, you're right on that. But I guarantee you, if you're working for TNA,
it does matter.
You would be giving a shit. You would be giving a shit.
Yeah, your show could be in serious jeopardy with any show.
And that's the thing. It's like, fuck, man. If you want to see TNA on TV, people, they need good ratings. They can't have bad ratings to be on TV.
No, exactly.
That's just the bottom line.
Otherwise, they won't survive or be around.
Exactly. That's why WWE they didn't get that money from the fucking NBC Universal of the recent TV deal is because their ratings have sucked. I mean, they have sucked, and so that's why they got such a cheap fucking deal. USA won that money war with WWE. WWE thought they were going to sell for like all this fucking money. Oh, LOL. Nope. You guys don't even pull good ratings anymore, man. Like, it's sad when a shitty show like 2.5 Men, right now, a shitty show like that with Ashton fucking Kutcher, who's only relevant because of that 70s show, gets more ratings than you. An 8.9 for that show every single week. It's sad when a NASCAR event gets more ratings than you. And NASCAR ain't that popular anymore.
Or it's sad when a cop rerun gets more ratings than Impact.
Exactly. Cop reruns on TNA on Spike TV get like what, 1 point? They get at least 1 million.
And remember the thing too, like, you know, I'm still in the works of speaking a video how to fix TNA. And one of the things also, the live events, the house shows. Let's be honest. When they show the pic, when No DQ and Anal Rift post these pictures up on the site, TNA, you know, they're selling out the show tonight. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. You know what I'm saying? And again, if you're a fan, you shouldn't say, "Oh, it shouldn't matter," because those guys, they're fans of the product. Yes, fine, but again, if you're working for the company, you would be given a shit. At the end of the day, to fix this problem, don't do house shows anymore. Don't do them. Just focus on Impact. Focus on Impact. Focus on pay-per-views. That's it.
Or maybe even just promote their shows a little bit better, because like the one thing that
really promoted that much. Only on Spike TV. That's the only time I'll see a promotion. Other than
I'll say this too. I'll say this too, because let's be honest, I don't think they're gonna go anywhere. They're gonna stay on Spike TV. They're gonna stay on the Impact. They're gonna stay in the Impact. They're gonna stay in the Impact zone. Here's what you do. Because to be honest, I've been to an Impact before. But let's be honest here. Yeah. I've been to an Impact in Orlando because I have a cousin who lives in Florida and all that, right? Yeah. And you know, let's be honest, you go there for free. You don't pay. So here's what you do. Because I remember years ago, I went to Universal Studios with my parents. Because, you know, when you're a kid, you know, your mom and dad takes you to Florida. Is that moment. Yeah, you know. And went to Universal Studios. And we went to the old Nickelodeon studios back in the day. And they walk you in. And once you walk in, they give you an introduction of what Nickelodeon Studios is, how long it's been around, and all that fun stuff, right? That's what TNA should do. As soon as you walk in, 50 people walk into the Impact Zone, you stop them. Okay, guys, welcome to TNA Impact Zone. Because people will say, well, gee, well, I don't know what the fuck TNA is. I know WWE, but I don't know what TNA is. So you give them an introduction of what the product is. They've been around since 2002. They started in Nashville, Tennessee. Or if not, you know what you do? As they go into their seats, and you see a pamphlet with what the company is about, how long they've been around, who's cheer for. That's what you do. That's how you educate your audience. Or else you have people just sitting there like.
And then you have to pull the loud track from the Attitude Era just to get reactions. Like you have to go find that loud track just to have the fans cheering in a bad way. It's just like that's the thing. It's like they also need to expand their market when it comes down to being.
And also, like, you know
I don't know how many times I've seen a TNA.
I think we lost Chase.
Chase.
Yeah. We'll try and get him back. Hopefully he'll come back.
Yeah.
Just having technical issues right now.
Yeah, technical issues.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Technical issues. We had a technical issue. So what you just said, no one heard, I'm assuming, but...
I said pretty much like their house shows. They need to expand more in the States because, like, I don't know how many times I've seen a TNA commercial where they're like, coming to Kentucky. I'm like, how many times are you guys going to go to Louisville, Kentucky in a year? I mean, it's like they're 18 million times going there.
Go to other places. They rarely come over here, which I would like for them to do that. It's not that often that they really
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to try to go to Destination X. I'm going to try to go.
That would be fun.
Here's the thing. I mean, I'm sure, you know, it's fun being the experience is fun. Because let's be honest, live wrestling shows are awesome.
Yes.
You know? Another thing is watching it on pre-tape and see how it came out. Like for me, I went to Extreme Rules, and you're at the Eyes Center. And being there live, it was fun because again, it's live and all that, right? Then I watched on the network. I'm like, wait a minute, there's things here that were, you know,
Yeah, you know because you're used to seeing it and everything, and there's a big difference now.
But again, you know. And also, one more thing, you know, if you really want to fix TNA, and I said this numerous times, and people who know me know this already, know that I have zero faith in Dixie Carter. She has to go. She has to go. She has to go. Listen, you know, I get it, you're the president, but if you're going to be the president, have someone hold you by the hand and tell you what's good and what's not good. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
Look at
just
their
be
booking.
behind the scenes.
Listen, Vince Russo may not be working for TNA, but who to say the guy not giving the company ideas?
Never know.
Like, hey guys, listen, I'm watching the show right now. What you guys should do, bro, is do this, let's do this angle right here. Let's do I don't know, a tampon on the pole mat. I think that will, come on.
Nobody wants to see that.
Fucking Russo, man.
I mean, listen, people will say, oh, it's hypocritical. Russo's the guy that gave you the attitude. But yes, but at the end of the day, I mean, come on,
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's just me, of course. At the end of the day, I want to see TNA succeed. I really do.
Yeah, we all do.
But it's one of those things where, right now I'm on a three strike you're out type of thing. You know what I mean? Strike one was when they did the Victory Road 2011, where Jeff Hardy was intoxicated out of his fucking mind.
Yeah, that should have never went along with that.
Strike two was them literally not being able to re-sign AJ Styles. That's my strike two.
Yeah, they should have done that.
Now, strike three, I don't know what the fuck it is yet.
Hopefully we won't get to strike three.
We won't get there, but if it is, and you know what?
Yeah.
Adios. Yeah.
Yeah, no, TNA has hit like so many strikes with me. Like, I think I've gone out on them like 4 or 5 times or something like that. I've given up on this company so many times, and
I had my time too before.
It's just like, I want this company to succeed, but it's just so hard to see when I see, like, and no offense, I love NXT, but some of the talent there are a bunch of idiots, and it's just like, it's sad to see where I find the BFFs more entertaining than the beautiful people. No offense to the BFFs, I like Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and Summer, but I find Angelina Love and Velvet Sky way more attractive and way more better overall to watch than them, and it's sad when I find the BFFs better than the beautiful people. It's sad when I think, I can't believe I'm going to say this, Mojo Rawley is better than some of your other big men like Gunner and Brand. Like, oh God, I got to take a drink for that. I can't believe I just said that.
Gunner.
Yeah.
That Gunner.
But yeah, it's just like, it's sad that this company that has so much potential, they just like keep shitting on it and keep shitting themselves in the foot, like and they just can't do anything right. And when they do something right, it's like what Steven says. They take like fucking 3 steps backwards. They take like they take 1 step forward, 3 steps back. It's like he used with the soccer analogy. They're like an inconsistent soccer team. They look like they're going to do good because they had a dominating win against a top ranked team, and then all of a sudden they just get 3 draws against mediocre competition that they should beat, and then they lose to like probably one of the worst clubs in the league. So. Yeah, it's just sad with TNA because they do have potential. They have talented. They have superstars that, like, I'll be honest here, some TNA stars I like more than WWE wrestlers. When it comes down to WWE, the only wrestlers I really like are like Orton, Bo Dallas, Bryan, and stuff like that. Like, come on, man. Like, that does not compare to Bobby Roode or James Storm and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and one thing, wasn't Bobby Roode supposed to appear tonight on Slammiversary?
You should have.
He should have. He was
that would
supposed
have
to.
been nice to see.
Just imagine, like, let's just assume this, right? Let's assume here, okay, it's supposed to be, I don't know, Aries and Young in the cage, and just when Aries is about to win, bam, in comes Bobby Roode and costs him the title. That's what should happen
interesting, yeah.
For me, but
that would have been pretty fine.
That would have been a little bit better for me. I would have taken that loss, and I'd be like, even though it's kind of a dumb way to lose for us, I would have taken that much more of how to, if you were going to set up a Bobby Roode and an Aries fight, Aries match fight. Like, what am I talking about? This isn't anime. They don't fight; they wrestle.
But again, it goes back to what I was saying early on this stream. I think, by having MVP being hurt, I'm not trying to be a fucked up person. Again, people might think, heel Steven, you're a fucked up person. You want to think, no. On the contrary. What happened tonight with MVP, being in all that, is a blessing. Just imagine what would have happened if TNA would have gone with MVP and Eric Young in the cage.
Dude, if MVP's fat ass was wrestling Eric Young tonight, it would be not a good cage match.
Pretty much what we saw on Impact for the TV.
It would have been a clusterfuck. What do? Do you give your title to a guy that gives you low ratings every week when he appears on TV, mostly his segments, or do you give your title to a former WWE talent and you go back to your old ways, what gave you the stereotype of what you're known for? what do you do?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's why I was hoping Aries would win. I felt just because he didn't win. Like I said, it's like I guess they're happy with Eric Young. I'm guessing Eric Young will face Sonata in a good match at Destination X. I'm pretty sure that will be a fun match, and it's going to be definitely fun to watch.
I'll take him over Young. I'll take him over Young. Fuck. At this moment, I'll take him over Young right now.
That's interesting.
Give it a Sonata. Let him hold it for like 2 weeks, and then drop the belt.
Well, you never know. He'll have that shot to do it, so could get
But
the
again,
title.
these New York shows coming up need to fucking deliver. They need to, these shows need to be more bigger than Slammiversary. Literally, your contract is on the line here. You would assume. Hence why they did the New York shows, because they want to impress the people in Spike. And again, these shows need to be balls to the wall. They need to literally be hit out of the park. Every show needs to be, even the one in August.
That's true.
So yeah.
Well, yeah, that pretty much does it for the rest of the show. It was a pleasure having you guys on the show. Of course, I will be back. No problem.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure, man.
Definitely, I will be back too before Money in the Bank, so you guys are more than welcome to come on there. And definitely, guys, leave your comments down below what you thought about TNA Slammiversary and as well TNA overall in general. With that being said, that about does it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
We're out like Janet's titties.